Good afternoon, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So today we are back to working our way through the Ace Attorney games. Next up, because I'm trying to work through chronologically, is the Ace Attorney Investigations games, where instead of being Phoenix Wright, we get to be Miles Edgeworth. We got to be a prosecutor recently as well, so shall we be a prosecutor again? Hello Nick, hello Drag, how are you doing? Am I doing Edgeworth voice the whole time? Yeah, I guess I am. Also, I want to be the judge. Yeah. I need to put my fan on actually. Just a second. Alright. Gone back to normal temperature, but clearly not for Nick. Yeah, today is literally 10 degrees cooler than Friday was, and I am feeling so much more alive, where I was until I shut the window. Which is why the fan's gone back on again. Little selection. First one. Would I like to play with the new HD chibi character sprites, or with pixel art? Sure, I'll play with these chibi sprites. It's cool that your room hasn't gotten the memo. Yeah, that's fair. I've got almost all the windows in the house open at the moment to try and cool it back down again. But not the window in this room, because if I left that open while I was streaming, you guys would definitely hear the road. Apparently I got an achievement for playing it with the chibi sprites. Now, where was my Edgeworth voice? Oh, that went away already. March 14th, what was that, 1:16 AM? To make sure the defendant is guilty, what choice do I have? It's going too fast. And that may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Oh dear, someone has shot someone in Edgeworth's office. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. March 14th, 2:05 AM, Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. It's hard to believe I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood? What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze! Identify yourself. Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Yeah, I'm shooting the the frame with Edgeworth's fancier jacket off the wall. Feels like a threat. Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases, and some very frantic and busy days. You want to know what's behind that painting? It looked like a safe, I think. Behind the frame with the suit in it, rather than a painting, actually. But I knew what you meant. March 14th, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Yeah, it definitely looks like a safe. Man, they did a number on Edgeworth's room. But the T-set's fine. The T-set's fine. We're good. We're good. The T-set survived. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Why are you fingerprinting the top of that frame? What makes you think that's a good idea? Yeah. Gumshoe voice. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir? No, that's not quite it. We'll get there. Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? Gumshoe, he literally got back home and there's a dead body in his office. I think he's just tired. I mean, he was also threatened at gunpoint, but... No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Yeah! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. It's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we're to find the truth. So, I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Only been 6 months and 3 weeks. Wow, has it been that long? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That means it was right back at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I figured it was, we'd been away from it for a bit long, hence we're back to it. End of December. Ah. Start of December. I can't maths, can I? Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why, of all places, did the murder occur in my office? Crime scene, my office. Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? Oh, are we doing Poirot mind maps? Is that what we're doing? I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really, especially because of this. Is that the office key? The key to your office? The office key. For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. Hello, Carl. How you doing? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information, and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So, how do you use it? Poor gumshoe. First, I recall the information we've gathered with Q, then I connect them together with T. Now, to use Q and recall the facts. Alright, Q. Well, it clearly took place in his office because someone had the key to it. For security reasons, all Prosecutor's doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? The killer's goal. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! Begin investigation. High Prosecutor's offices, room 1202. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply use space when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use T, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Yeah, we actually get to walk around in this one. Well, let's look at the gun. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. Which is a really stupid place to dispose of your murder weapon, really. At the scene of the crime. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, I do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. Don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognise it. You thought giving Gumshoe a gun was a good idea. Well, at least Gumshoe also thinks that giving Gumshoe a gun was a bad idea. So, it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. Well, I mean, the person who was behind Edgeworth with the gun did kind of sound like a policeman. To be honest. The way he spoke. Oh no, wait, no! The tea set isn't in a good condition, no! Just the stuff that's lower down on the shelf, not the stuff that's on the top, no! I hope that teapot is fine. Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set! I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. Those two games are not all that similar, despite using the same board, Gumshoe. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though, I don't expect the games to tax my mental activity much. Well, let's check the dead body. I finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Ooh, okay. Well, what looks like a gunshot to the gut. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. And also, we need to find a bullet, which is probably lodged in one of the files. That's going to be fun to look for. But yeah, once we have the bullet, we can check that it came from the gun that's on the floor there. Hooray, ballistics. Yep. Until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Well, I'm gonna go with cause of death, lack of blood, but in the correct places. That's not the right phrasing. Blood loss. I think just blood loss. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Crime scene notes jotted down in my organizer. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all of the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press E to open my organizer. Ah, that's what the little book-shaped thing with the E was. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Alright, Edgeworth, let's go look at your organizer. Hey, Prosecutor's badge! Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. And that which we've already got. Profiles! We have the victim. Name unknown, age unknown. The victim in this case. Why was he killed in my office? And then Gumshoe, who is 32. I'm older than Gumshoe. Homicide detective at the local precinct. In charge of the initial investigation. Alright. Wallet. Maybe we can find out what this guy's name is. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. Oh, is it not a wallet? Is it a police badge? If so, does the gun belong to our victim? It's a police badge. Detective... Oh, hey! I have the same thing, actually. What a coinky-dink. Gumshoe! I've missed Gumshoe so much. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Gumshoe is a treasure. I think Gumshoe is my favourite character in the entirety of Ace Attorney. I think it's buddy as in friend, probably. Like, this guy likes his friends. Maybe the person who killed him was his friend. Victim was a detective. According to his badge and ID, Buddy Faith was a precinct detective. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Well, I want to finish looking around Edgeworth. Oh, okay. Apparently I can't just look at the blood on his hand. Okay. I don't believe it! I packed those files on those shelves so tight. And not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. I think someone's been looking for something in the files, Gumshoe. Nice, right? The rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem, to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, okay. I assumed that someone was rifling through the files at speed. Signs of a struggle. My files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer. Yeah, because... I mean, unless someone was, like, grabbing those and trying to throw them at the other person or something. Or tried to grab hold of them to avoid falling over, maybe, I guess. Because surely these bookcases are attached to the wall if we are in a place that has earthquakes, right? So it's not like just knocking into the bookcase should knock them off. I think green is sort of important text in this one. Oh, I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean the place till it sparkled. Does he have a life? Okay, I think that's gonna be everything. Yeah. Alright, let's go connect some things together. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? Signs of a struggle. The revolt. Okay. We have the victim was a detective, and the gun was the same model used by precinct detectives. Connect. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir! On it now, sir! Excuse me, pal! Let's see. What we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! This guy's wearing a gun holster! So, it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Victim's revolver dates are jotted down in my organizer. The victim's revolver. It can be assumed that this gun is the murder weapon. It was issued to the victim. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. Is it time to rotate the evidence? As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use up, down, right, left to rotate an object. No such thing as a bad angle. Use Q and E to zoom in and out, but get to the nitty gritty. Alright. To think it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger. Look, it's got a little horse on it. That's probably relevant. I don't know enough about guns. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. Yeah, that's basically that's basically just what are they called? The little ones you get in like toy guns, the little red ring things that sort of do a little explosion. I don't remember what they were called. If you take off before it's fired, everyone always ends up following your lead. That's called a false start, Gumshoe. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place. Oh, Gumshoe, Gumshoe, Gumshoe. So we can turn it with the mouse too. Yeah, probably shouldn't point that end at myself. It looks like only one round was fired from this. Which means it is not the murder weapon. Well, actually, maybe not so much that it's not the murder weapon, but it's not... One of these is the gun that shot the frame, and one of them is the gun that shot the dude. As in, there's a gun that's missing. Unless the killer had time to reload it between killing the dude and shooting it later. Actually, that could be it too. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. No, it's not, Edgeworth! I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send this body to what... Okay. Jim. What was the guy's name? Buddy? But his name's not Jim. Jim! Oh, hey look, it's the murderer! Hello, murderer! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? Are you all right? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he just turned in for the night. He's covered in blood, dude. Dude. You forgot Maya's nickname for Phoenix. It's Nick. As in Phoenix. I'm not sure how you get Jim out of Buddy. Sure, just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Why are you walking around wearing a gold medal? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes I am! I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office? Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go jumping around to conclusions, pal! No, I did that in the wrong order, didn't I? Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not! I know how things work around here. My prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. Except that I'm pretty sure we left ours with Gumshoe. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? Clearly not the entire time, Gumshoe! So the only one who could get in here was me! Wait. That means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then! You're Jim's killer! No way, pal! You got it all wrong! Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. Are we sure this guy's a prosecutor? Because he looks like a track and field athlete instead. He's literally wearing sports stuff and a gold medal around his neck. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Yeah, that's exactly what I would want to do if I was the killer. Be part of the investigation so I can sidetrack it. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. Can we have that picture for our evidence? I should probably give them some space. Ah, your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So you do remember that, Edgeworth? Then why are you being dumb about the gun that's only had one shot fired? So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they'd shot through it? It would have been a disaster! It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Ah, yes! The contradiction that you probably should have mentioned when you found the guy only had one thing shot, Edgeworth. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. Alright. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press T with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Okay, our evidence is gun, only one shot fired. Eureka! This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Which means that we need to find the bullets that did one of the 2, and then we need to run it through ballistics with the gun that we found, so that we can know if the gun we have is the murder weapon or not. Actually, it would be best if we found both bullets, and then we could check if they were fired from the same gun. So if they were fired from the same gun, then that means that the murderer basically stuck around for a while and decided to reload the firearm, and was able to reload the firearm. That's another matter. Like, does that detective carry additional rounds with him? Hey, that's right! However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Another handgun? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. Oh, let's spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. And now if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that! Talk about dusty. Hey, I thought you were cleaning, don't you? I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. Ah, the dust is only on the safe, not the frame. So, when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. It's probably where you put important evidence and things. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. Aha, that's what I thought. That's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Secret safe data jotted down in my organizer. Each prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know of them. Trial office evidence use. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Yeah, has anyone had a go at it? Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on a keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, yet let alone lift a single print. It looks like it was wiped down well. All of the fingerprints on this have been wiped clean off. Prints were wiped. Yeah, only prosecutors know about this. That suggests that their prosecutor has been trying to get into Edgeworth's safe. Maybe we should check what's in the safe, because maybe someone hid something in here rather than in their own safe. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Alright. What have we got? Yeah, we have... Why did this happen in my office? With the fingerprints on the safe got wiped off. prints, which suggests what the killer was after was getting into the safe. I believe I've figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what was it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Motive theft? The culprit tried to open my safe. Was the killer's motive theft? Can we look in the safe and check there's nothing in there, Edgeworth? Because it could have been the opposite of theft. The killer could have been breaking in to hide something there. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Yes, because I don't think these are signs of a struggle. I think these are signs of someone looking for something. As I said earlier. There is a possibility that the files displayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm going to shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library. I mean, we don't know for certain that the killer didn't figure out the code. That's why I want Edgeworth to open the safe. I just want to make sure that there's nothing in there that isn't supposed to be in there. And nothing missing that is, although Edgeworth said it was empty. I still want to be certain it's empty. Damn it. Sure, let's give that a try. Ooh, do we get a minigame? Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? Aren't you a fucking prosecutor, dude? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. Aww, I wanted a shelving minigame. Huh. Those are bloody handprints, and that's... What? That's the same bloody handprint twice. But like behind, leaning behind? So I guess he got shot, sort of tried to hold the blood in, sort of staggered, sort of tried to balance himself on the shelf, and then fell over? Although, why he'd do that with the hand with which he was trying to hold his guts in? Did I get wind of the Tidy Up the Yes, I want to play Tidy Up the Arcane Library so bad. I've watched other people play it, and I really want to play it myself. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. Bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. Oh, we do have right hand down here. So we have left hand. I think. Yeah. Yeah, left hand, right hand. Uncertain. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell on the floor, right? Blood on the floor's kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. Gumshoe, aren't you a homicide detective? Well, you know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Well, I mean, I'd like to start with the 2 left handprints. Victim's handprints. He also tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. Well, with the same hand twice, apparently. Prints on the floor, too. Yeah. Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See? Not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, but shouldn't there be more blood on this? Why is this shelf clean? I guess maybe he didn't slide, he just kind of went ka-thump. I'll put them all back, just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Yeah, so these ones have a little bit of flecks of blood. Oh, the bullet hole! I did not see... Wait a I hadn't noticed that was the bullet hole. Wait a second. That doesn't work. Like... Because we thought he got shot while he was standing up, right? So why is the bullet hole there? If he's standing up and he got shot in the lower abdomen... Well, I mean, based on like where his handprints are there, where he'd try and stabilize himself behind him. Shouldn't the bullet hole be up here somewhere? But it's not. So, this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file's spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Well, I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way? Yeah, I don't like that. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. Nothing else around here? Yeah. I would like to deduce a thing, please. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, I would like to connect this to the bullet going through the victim's abdomen, please. In the why is the bullet here? Eureka! There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. I mean, unless he kind of tried to lever himself back to standing, I guess, off the shelf. And that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I mean, the order of the files. Because if we put the 0 set up here, and then it would be in these, and then D, it would be here, which would be in the right position. Hence, order of the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey! Actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh, did someone relabel the files? Oh. Yeah! You see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down here after 1, 2, and 3? It's really weird. Actually, the way they're organised now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. Oh, so Gumshoe filed them wrong while we were away. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they're arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Yes, because those were still on the shelf. Earlier. This handprint still bothers me because it looks like a left hand. Because that looks way more like a thumb than this does. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They've finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first, before shooting Mr. Faith. And put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. There's a missing file. There is a missing file that we couldn't see because the body was there. And also a dying message that appears to say, well, it would say Gumshoe, probably. Because while this looks more like an S right now, I guess it's a H, and it actually goes off in that direction. Why are these ones filed over there? Mr. Edgeworth, what the fuck is wrong with your filing system? What the fuck is wrong with your filing system, Edgeworth? Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. Blame case 3 for being so small. Yeah, but the rest of case 3 could be like up at the top of the next bookcase. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? I mean, maybe our victim looked through the files first. I don't know. Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice. Once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. To give it another look. This... What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. So we're suggesting that the victim wrote a dying message in blood with his left hand while he was sat down. To be fair, it would probably be difficult for someone else to do that. it would be difficult for anyone not basically sat in that position to do. And make it look right. Is this guy right-handed or left-handed? What's interesting in this case when you have someone to pin it on? I mean, because this is Ace Attorney and we got the little cutscene in the beginning, we do in fact actually know it was him. We just need to figure out how to pin it on him. We know. Edgeworth doesn't. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No! Wait! There's got to be some mistake! Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me! Say something, sir! It appears that one of my files was stolen. Edgeworth not interested in the dying message at all. Knows those are frequently faked. I mean, whoever wrote it knows that they nicked the key from Gumshoe. We know that. And that's why they're trying to pin it on him, because they knew Gumshoe had the key. Right? Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Framing Gumshoe or stealing file 0H? A stolen file data jotted down in my organizer. One of the files that were written upon in blood was stolen by the culprit. Investigation complete, but I haven't finished looking around yet. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. I mean, he's not. Gumshoe wouldn't shoot anyone. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? Yeah, so that's exactly what the person who faked the dying message would say. If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You've got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with E and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use T, but that's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct. And at those times, I need to press the witness with Q. Sometimes, by pressing, I can draw out new information, a new or modified testimony. Think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too. Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. And now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you'd committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. And thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Dude! I think anyone moving that body to over there would have already noticed the bloody letters. And it will be by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling out for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Alright, let's double check what our evidence is before we get into this. Our evidence is... we've got the bullets, we've got the dead body with bullet through the abdomen. We found the body at 2:05. The victim's revolver was only shot once. We believe it to be the murder weapon. We don't know this because we haven't found the bullets and sent them to ballistics yet. Secret safe. Only a prosecutor would know that it would be here. Like, Gumshoe did not know that this was here. The stolen file. Okay. Ooh, yawn. I did not sleep great last night. A rebuttal. Press all the things. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Wow! So you just ignored his actual name and decided to call him Jim? Jack and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jack and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. You see how that makes this worse, dude? You've just decided that your assistant is replaceable. He talks about the victim like he was his pet.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, no?
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? I'm pretty sure you could do that around the body. Like, you just... The body wasn't in front of the entire shelf. You could still get, like, the left and rightmost books out, and then you could work in from there. Just sort of push them across. Anyway.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. Yes, but someone stole one of the files with the bloody letters on it! But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. How rude. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Nor you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I could prove it with evidence. Couldn't ask for a better setup. For the game-finishing spike. Oh, okay. Okay, you don't do athletics, you do volleyball. Got it. Sorry, not space. It was T.
Objection!
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have the time to laugh, you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Oh, nothing? The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. I mean, unless the lights were out.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. No. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, he would have stolen all the files. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means... what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant! Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humour me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. Mr. Edgeworth just proved I'm innocent, pal. I mean, Gumshoe, do you have the key to the office on you? Why has he got a lab coat? That's absolutely right. And I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking. Do you know there's one other person with a key to this office? One other person. Okay, it's not a lab coat, it's just a white suit jacket, which is so terrible. Hey, you there! Yes, sir? What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't! Oh, is this gonna be... Oh, no! What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. Yep, I believe she's going to be quite bouncy and very unlucky. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Yep! No, Gumshoe did not find another lover. This is Gumshoe's lover that we knew about. Actually, she's a lot less happy bouncy now. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie. Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key that can unlock all the office doors in this building. What? If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. I feel like you're missing out the parts where someone could have stolen the key from either her or him. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room! That's right! I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal! It was me! That's right! I did it! Gumshoe, you absolute adorable idiot! Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'll have no problem with that, alright? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your office using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. And that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So, what you're saying is she used the master key. Master key. This can open every office door. Its use is controlled by security staff. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there's anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but... I mean... There's no evidence that the room was unlocked at night. Like, someone could have unlocked it during the day and just left it unlocked for later. But I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Ah, it was missing, was it? Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. You can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Yeah, of course you do, because you're the murderer. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Yes, of course. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it would be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? Can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir!
Objection!
If that's the case, I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. Where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. They never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Yeah, in this case, it's her bad luck to have been the person on security at the time of this happening. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. A motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? Yeah, but what's in that file that would make Maggie want to have it? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. Hey, Mr. Portsman, how do you know that? It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I mean, I guess he was in the room when we found that out, but... I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Did we have something for this? Not confident on that at an immediate moment. I'd like to keep pressing. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery, however... I'm glad to hear the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with the little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... Hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence?
Hold it!
I thought we'd established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face. See, there goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. Ah, but we're in agreement the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she's the only one who could have opened your office door,
Hold it!
don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? You're saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? I mean, I'm not saying the master key wasn't used, but that someone could in fact have nicked it. Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else? I don't think that Edgeworth is that stupid. I'll have you know I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Did you hear that, Gumshoe? You're a celebrity! Probably not for good reasons, but you're a celebrity! Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know? For when you screw up so badly, you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Yeah, dude, how could you be so rude to Gumshoe? Even if it's true, you don't tell him that to his face? Phew. Don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack then.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. Yeah, why would Maggie want to frame Gumshoe there? Just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to. But first, we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying. Press him for more information. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the thing we need to present to is the thing we got from the press before. The thievery thing. What are we presenting for that? Also, let's have a look at the profiles. Jacques Portman is also 29. The same as the deceased. Hi, Prosecutor with this prosecutor's office. It's my first time speaking with him. And then Maggie is 23. Gumshoe knows her from when she was a police officer. Now works as nighttime security. Okay, so anyway. Her intent from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. I mean, I'm tempted to present the safe. Because it's only the prosecutors know that these safes are here. Why would Maggie know it was here? Yeah, let's go with that.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. Yes, but it only makes sense for a prosecutor to have been trying to thieve. That may be. But you must also be aware of the fact the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that the hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. You think he's gonna bite the medal in half? Well, that would prove it was real gold, wouldn't it? Because it would be soft enough for you to be able to do that, so. What's wrong, Prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you... What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim! He knew about the existence of secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. Inseparable conjoined twins. And yet you refuse to use his actual name, dude. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. And that means... Yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. And definitely not entirely on my orders, no. No siree, definitely not on my orders. Now he's claiming the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. So he's now putting the blame for the thievery on his partner, and then that someone, in this case Maggie, shot him for being a thief? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she stumbled upon Jim, who'd probably drawn his gun. Why, though? I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that, not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Why on earth would it have been there? Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. I mean, someone retrieved it. Well, someone took it back after they killed Jim. I'm going with you stole the key, you were trying to do a thievery, and your partner found you, and because he found you, you had to kill him. Do we have security footage? Yeah, can we have security footage from, like, the hallway? Like, that's got to exist, right? No, wait, we've learned how terrible the coverage of security footage is in this world. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Not the only way. Not the only way. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? Can't kick us out! This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. Fuck off! You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. You're also a suspect. Mr. Edgeworth can't be a suspect because he wasn't even in the country when the murder happened. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But, sir! We have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. But now he can mess up the scene to his own desires. That's not fair. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. I'm pretty sure legally Portsman shouldn't be doing this investigation either. He's too close to the case. The victim is his partner. Shouldn't we be having another prosecutor that isn't related to the case at all? Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? Probably solved me as Cases Phoenix. Yes! However, that was as a defense attorney. We weren't assigned to that case, we were requested. To be continued. Save my progress? Yes. Investigating the hallway. March 14th. 4:18 AM. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. What's with that prosecutor? Can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. Why is there a basketball in the corridor? We've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things that we should be looking into anyway. Yeah? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Begin investigation. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. Alright. How far can we go to the left? Only this far. How far can we go to the right? Hey look! There's a prosecutor that's not related to this case. Can't we have him investigate? What? Why is there a basketball and a basket? Is this Mr. Portsman's room? This office. 1203. 1203. Hey Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman's, sir. So he is my new neighbour, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. What's a basketball hoop doing here? Mr. Jock Sportsman. Yep. Wait! Is his name Portsman just because if you take the... Yeah. Oh no. Mr. Jack Sportsman. No, no, I didn't realise. Yeah, why isn't it in his office? Why isn't he allowed to put it here? Aye, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? Don't remember exactly. I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. Up the stairs? I bet there's a dent in every single stair all the way up 12 floors. Because that's got to be like a concrete block on the bottom, right? All the way up to the 12th floor. What is a basketball doing here? Ask Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. Yeah, and given that he talked about spikes, he probably plays volleyball too. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? I guess we can't go in Mr. Portsman's room. Is everything all right? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. I won't rest until I investigated every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Oh, look, it's the missing file. Let's look at the seat first. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know. Oh yeah, they look great for napping, don't you? You would sleep even out here, detective, in a hallway. Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. It's... Ah, isn't this the missing O series file, sir? Sorry, 0 series file, sir. No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. And that means that this isn't a theft case. I take it back. It is a theft case. There seem to be a few pages missing. A thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. Probably because it's easier to smuggle 3 pages of 3 pieces of paper out of the building than it would be to smuggle the entire file. So, what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belonged to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. Ah, that would be... Lana Sky? Right? Was it Lana? Yeah, because Emma's the younger one, the younger sibling. I have my reasons, but let's say I was charged with keeping them as they were. That means this thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. There isn't anything else to look at here, so... Or maybe there is. Nope. I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Oop. I bet the thief's not under here. Well, I guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway. I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed. Sounds to me like someone has already tried at least once before. There we go, that was probably the thing we were missing. Yeah, it's got a tick on it now. Let's talk to Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her with tea. Well, first let's talk. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with him. It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. Wow. Mr. Portsman, you really suck. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with him. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it you're an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Oh, so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. Man, how did you survive that? I guess babies just kind of bounce. Like their bones aren't like fully solid at that point, right? Or at least the skull. And I guess a baby wouldn't brace for impact, and therefore they would be kind of bouncier than someone who did. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I've even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know, and just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved with my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Alright. The master key. So, when did you discover the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. And I noticed it was back around 2:30 AM. So it returned after we found the body. And after the murderer ran away. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room reception's window is. But I'm sure that between those 2 times it was not just gone but stolen, sir. Master key was stolen. The key was missing from approximately 1 AM to 2:30 AM. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the keys further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I'd used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key. What do you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who'd forgotten his key? I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? What is it? That's right, I just remembered! And the prosecutor who forgot his key... It was Mr. Portsman, sir! Pretended to forget his key so he could get you to use it in the hopes that you'd... well, that he'd at least see where you put it afterwards, I guess. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 AM. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. Oh, okay, wait a second. Haha. Wait, no, because we've established that the key got stolen. Did the key need to be stolen, though? I don't think so. I think that Maggie did unlock Edgeworth's door. Maybe. Ah, but no, we still have the part where the key went missing, though. But I'd love this to be that he moved, like, the basketball hoop over and, like, swapped the plates over. So be like, yeah, could you just unlock my room for me? Because, like, if you've got something that's that super obvious that people know is there, like the basketball hoop, if you just moved that down a door, I see. And then, what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 AM, I think. So wait, but the key was missing by then, right? So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. You used the master key. This key was used to unlock and lock Portsman's office at 1 AM and 1:30 AM. It can't have been used at 1:30 AM though. Surely. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Ah, or this door is still open. In that, yeah, because the door numbers are on those one of those little slidey things. You could easily swap them. So actually, it's entirely possible that this door is still unlocked from when Maggie unlocked it. And that he got this door unlocked and then went, wait a second. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of the basketball hoop, sir. Yep, you can't mistake it because of the basketball hoop. Exactly, just what I said. Man, I would make such a good thief. So good at figuring out ways you could get around the things. I guess that kind of goes for it, right? The same skills involved in being a good detective are the same skills that are involved in being a good thief, right? Oh, that reminds me! Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. Do I need to schedule a thieving game at some point? Maybe. I could play, like, Thief Simulator. That's a game. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd. No, it's probably to do with there's something in that room that he wants. Yup, that's gotta be it. Can't think of another reason why. No, there's something that Lana must have hidden in that room that he really wants to get his hands on. I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? The hinges? A minimalistic yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's kind of majestic too. Fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Yes, even him. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Well, yeah, but that's Mr. Payne. Everyone seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne. I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. You don't remember who Mr. Payne is, do you, Edra? The door is locked tight. Bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? The door opens like that. It might. Well, it depends what kind of a lock it is. This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Huh, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. No, I don't think our culprit picked the lock, Gumshoe. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. But, you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to find your office since it's been here. Yes, that's the entire purpose of the exercise, Gumshoe. How long have I had the same office, and yet you still managed to get lost? You shouldn't be able to get lost trying to find room 1202. It's the second door from the end of the corridor, surely. You just have to count. Can we examine my door? Oh, 2. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey! These number plates slide right out, sir! Yes, they do, don't they? They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Interesting. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of suspicious. A minimalistic yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone could admire. I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone. Right. A long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guards, no signs the lock was picked either, sir. Yes, that would be forced entry, don't you? Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. White, so they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Not the button that I wanted. Okay, I think we've looked at everything. Which means it's time to put some clues together. Yeah, if the key was missing from approximately... Isn't this a contradiction? But we don't do contradictions like this. But hey. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal! I mean, sir! You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 AM, correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow! Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth! You saw that contradiction like a pro! I had totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right! It was around that time that I realized the master key was missing. And... well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yes, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So, in actuality, you never did relock the door, then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. And yet it is locked. Because the door you unlocked was not that door. Mr. Portsman's office. Miss Bird unlocked the door, but the master key was stolen, so she could not lock it up. Can we look at the lock again? No? Can we present this back to her? Oops. That's not that's not the button again. I've had to open up Mr. Portsman's office for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions too. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies and awards in it. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous since I don't have even a single one. Don't say that, Maggie! I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you! Thanks for trying, but I've already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. Yeah. Ooh, wait, do we have things to put together? We just have files in disarray and another handgun. Can I go back in now? Alright. What do we have? I guess we could just ask Maggie about more things. Use the gumshoe help. We could. Hey, Gumshoe. Yes, sir! An ace investigator. I was wondering about the investigation. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. A real seasoned pro. Of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps. You know that you can always check out really important spots in more detail, right? Yes. And if the area is too big, you can always use up, down, left, right to take a look around. Oh, don't worry, sir. The up, down, left, right command will only show up when you need it. I knew that as well. And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, try deduction. First you line up your cursor with the suspicious looking area, then press T and choose your poison, evidence. Ah, right, we need to go back to Portsman's door. When you settle on a place, you got to present it with T again. I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, Detective. Well, if you can remember all that, then welcome to the world of pros. I'll dub you Ace Investigator. Class dismissed. And all I wanted was an update on the investigation. Right, yes, if we go here again, we stick our cursor over here. I forgot about the deduction thing. And then we add this door shouldn't be locked. Oh, no. T with T with T. There's a contradiction between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. Yeah, exactly, Edgeworth. Catch up. I figured that one out 10 minutes ago. She opened a different door, but how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is we need to examine these. Prints on... I mean, he's been so good at wiping his prints off everything else that I don't think he's left prints on the number plate. But he's probably left... well, no. But, like, prints on the mesa key, those are probably also wiped off. Prints on this doorknob, if Maggie's prints... it's whether Maggie's prints are on this doorknob, but they would be if she's had to open it before. Yeah, let's check that if there are prints on the number plate. Prints on the number plate. That'll tell us all we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example, okay, yeah, it wasn't the number plate. Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How did you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... prints on the doorknob. Okay. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favour and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what do you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So, only two people's prints were found on this, That's pretty decisive. I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Whose prints should also be on this doorknob? That would be Maggie's.
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Miss Bird says she unlocked this door, but her prints are not on the doorknob. Man! Portsman, you were doing so great at wiping the prints off everything else. Got sloppy, didn't ya? You were like, no one's ever going to make an assumption that maybe my door wasn't the one that was unlocked, and therefore I don't need to do anything with my door. You thought. What have we here? A piece of paper. Did Mr. Portsman just try and shove the pieces of paper he stole into his room? And not, like, fold them up and put them in his jacket? What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. It looks like a note from the victim. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Like the other games, we do have 10 health. Thank you. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Note left by the victim, found under the door for the absent Portsman. Ah, there we go! Evidence that this was moved, evidence that this was moved. That's what I wanted to see! Oh, I was right, I was right, I was right. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey! How about a game? That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir! Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. Yeah, it shouldn't do that. That should be what that base is for. To stop it from doing that. Positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take a note of this. Basketball hoop is sitting in front of Portsman's office. There are signs it's been moved. Investigation complete. Hey! Refill. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. Hopefully the stairs are carpeted, they'd be less dented. The thing is, in a building with at least 12 floors, no one is using those stairs on a regular basis, so I don't think they're going to be carpeted. I think they're going to be an emergency exit, which means they're probably just concrete. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it! That's exactly what my logic sensors were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. Before we actually go and make our accusations, I need to get some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. Alright. Let's prove this guy did it, shall we? March 14th. 5:12 AM. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Sportsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. There was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me I gotta stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me because they won't work? The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you've yet to prove anything. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. There's a mountain of evidence that points towards you being the culprit, dude. Besides, how may I ask do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Well, that's the thing we're presenting to. Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. Suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on, with evidence. I mean, just this, right?
Objection!
No? Okay, fine. I'm skipping several steps as to where I should have been, I guess. Fine, I'll press it. Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Yes? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then, I propose that you used this to open my door. The master key. Well, technically he didn't use the master key for it. Someone did though.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You'd asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. Well, why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plates and made sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her? To fool her into thinking what you wanted? How do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? That would be this. What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited just to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Yeah! That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. If you were in your room, then why do I have a note for you? That was tucked under your door. So, he claims he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show the one who is truly covered in slime here. Ooh, yeah, he's slimy. I had to go open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single... probably this one, right? I was in my room the entire time. Were you had? That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. Yeah, and then the victim realized that you were in the next room and he came in to see what you were doing. And then you killed him. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Yeah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You You were busy snooping around in my room from the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. This one.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. Yeah, I didn't find anything, that's the point, dude. You're right, I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Prints? What did they have to do with anything? Let me put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Yeah! Further, all of the prints on my office's doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you've stolen into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor. As he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. Say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I'd wiped that knob down well. Huh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you'd touched. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You just made that up now. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left me, you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Why didn't you pick it up, though? Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, though that's no excuse. That's just a flat-out lie! There's no way you didn't notice a note that size! Yeah, but you can't prove it, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth? Back me up here, sir! Yeah, Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. As in, I only just made up my alibi as we were talking. Guess it would have been better for all of us if I'd told you sooner. Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office around 2 AM, correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. Sure, the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like, you'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, yes sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 AM. You see? But when they say that they saw you, did they see your face or did they just see that flashy ass jacket? And medal. All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be some contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 AM. It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. You know, how do you know I got back here at 2 AM?
Hold it!
You are correct. It was around 2 AM. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however... Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. Yeah, but that culprit sounded an awful lot like a police officer. Or security person.
Hold
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit? Yep, right after I left the Prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time. See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Yeah. Possible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir! Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Detective Gumshoe! Sorry, I missed Gumshoe's line there, didn't I? Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Oop. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? Mr. Portsman's alibi. The intruder I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. Well, there is the fact that there were two separate handguns involved. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once. Meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But, seeing how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person. Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Well, there's only 2 things for us to combine here. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight. That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great. So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means the killer was someone else. And that means that in actuality 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Ah, yes. He must have done the murdering before he got Maggie to come and lock back up again. But she couldn't lock back up again because the master key was missing, because the second culprit, the thief, stole it. And so she pretended to lock it and actually left it unlocked. Which meant that when the thief got there, he could just waltz right in.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Ugh. Even then, when the thief arrived, they'd had the master key anyway. That's true. So it doesn't really matter that it got left unlocked. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. And he didn't find what he needed, right? The actual thief did. Because that file was stolen after the murder. So then, must it be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. And he probably walked in with his gun out. And then when he saw it was Mr. Portsman, he probably hesitated, and that's when Mr. Portsman stole his gun from him and shot him. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Oop! You're gonna get teeth marks in your medals. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he'd also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir? Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen zero file, right, sir? Correct. Only, just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So, shelves getting messed up twice and with two bullets. It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there's still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Because the thief took the file that got drawn on. Written on. That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So, you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. If you run into should be a real suspect. Should be out there looking for them, they might still be nearby. I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. I mean, honestly, why were you at Criminal Affairs? Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ha! That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. Is that the habit of all detectives? And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. I wish to return to my reverse thievery theory, in which there is important evidence inside my safe that shouldn't be there. So that they could go, oh no, what evidence? I didn't have that evidence.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant. Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Oh! Those both have horses on them. And why were you taking them to Criminal Affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. This gun? That we have only assumed was issued to the victim? But has a horse on it, like that horse on the pendant?
Objection!
No, damn it. Alright, let's press the things.
Hold it!
Press the other things. I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope. But I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave, then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. That's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I'd laid out earlier. I know he's lying, I know he was here at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. Actually, wait, shit. I know what this is. But, like, did he actually deliver them to you? He hasn't had an opportunity to deliver them to you. Surely. Because you were like, when Jim came by, I was at Criminal Affairs. Which he told us that he was at 2. By which point Jim was already dead.
Objection!
Yeah, when did he bring you those? Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is... Oh, shit! It says 3 on the note, doesn't it? It says 3 on the note, I forgot that part. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read. Carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe... to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's hidden somewhere in this room. Surely. Because that's why he was here. Surely. It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Oh, okay, it's on him. Right. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. A VHS. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. An entire VHS. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Ooh. Are we gonna get him on 2 murders? Or a murder and another crime? KG8 incident. Oh, look, blood. Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean, this might be Detective Faith's blood? No! No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if I were to examine this tape for fingerprints? Yeah! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! Oh dear, he swallowed the whole thing! And asphyxiated himself by the looks of it. March 14th, 5:47 AM. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please, accept my apologies. Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? Our Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard there was a number of suspicious things relating to his court cases. There's even rumours about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up. Although, we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. This is just between me and you, sir, but there's a rumour that some sort of huge organisation is involved behind the scenes. Oh, well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumour. It would seem we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. That one, right?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? Yeah, Portsman was just, expendable. I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. Is that a calling card? Did we get phantom thieved? This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Ah, Yatagarasu. It's been a while since... I was going to say it's been a while since we last dealt with three-legged ravens, but it's not been very long at all. Because we're still carrying around the raven stuff. You need to wear a armor now. Even you should know what this is, Detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Oh, he's literally called that, okay. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Labelled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Mercurial News, Special Edition. Yatagarasu haunts embassy. The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. And nothing else is actually readable on that page. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu reappears. Corporate dealings exposed. Says Mercurial News. Speedy Times says something great thief. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Okay, sorry, it's not a calling card, it's a signature. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it's been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! Look, something's written on the back! What? Let me see. That's in runes! Which I can't read. Or at least it looks like runes. It's the location of where the thieves put the stolen files. So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see those events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Yay, we finished this case. Save progress. Save. Turnabout Airlines, huh? Which I think we will pick up from next time, because this feels like a very good place to end. Yes, near perfect timing, exactly. Exactly. It's so well timed. So yes, thank you very much for coming. It's been fun. Nice getting back to Ace Attorney. I just still really wanted Edgeworth to check the safe. Damn it. Like the first thing I would have done. Anyway. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box. This was the last scheduled stream of the week, so there will be a new schedule put up later tonight. Next scheduled stream will be, tomorrow, Monday, 7 PM, I think. Let's finish up the demo for Low Effort Romance. That's what I think we'll do. So, hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.